Taiwan has been effectively run as a separate country, independent. They are an independent country, and China's just recognised that that's happened.
Taiwan also has been fighting against the CCP for a long time, and still is. Do you have any thoughts on that, or anything you would say to people in Taiwan?
I really admire the courage of the people of Taiwan. The last election showed such a wonderful result that gave people like me a lot of hope. You know, people don't just listen to the media that are infiltrated by Chinese Communist Party. So they are still able to obtain truth and make their decisions based on what they innately feel is right. But the infiltration continues on. The society, from what I have seen and learned from the news, is that there are a lot of Chinese money in Taiwan, and they try to, a United Front organization or the Chinese Communist Party organization, try to dilute the rhetoric and try to influence public opinion. And that is still going on. We need to be very alert to that.
Taiwan has been effectively run as a separate country, independent, since 1949, when the Kuomintang retreated back to the island, and what happened with Mao Zedong and the mainland was rather different. So, they've been there now for, 60 years, 70 years? They're an independent country, and China's just recognised that that's happened. These things do occur. I mean, bits of country disappear off, and then that becomes an established fact in geography. You don't always try and reclaim what happened years ago. I mean, the British wouldn't reclaim America on the basis we were there in 1700 and something. You just have to accept that things change. And China should accept that Taiwan is now an independent country with a democratic arrangement and seek friendly relations with it rather than threatening it with violence and force, which it now is doing. And it's cowardly of the world to have broken relations with Taiwan as it has done, country after country, under pressure. The West has done so really in a cowardly way, I think. African countries have done so because they've been bribed by China to do so by lots of money. But, it's important that Taiwan continues to exist as an independent entity. We saw the value of Taiwan when it came to COVID-19, when actually, as you mentioned, they've had a very good record of preventing the spread of the virus. And yet they were stopped from giving information and help to the World Health Organization because the government in China regarded, again, the politics as more important than the health of people. And that was outrageous.
Taiwan is clearly an ally for anyone who believes in liberal democracy, human rights, basic freedoms. Taiwan is a vibrant democracy. It's proven itself to be that. It's proven itself to defend not only human rights within its own territory, but actually be an increasing voice for the values of human rights and democracy beyond. I visited Taiwan twice last year to attend on two separate occasions, two different conferences on human rights. And both those conferences were opened by the president of Taiwan, President Tsai, who gave a keynote speech. So Taiwan clearly is a place that really embodies and lives up to the values that democracies around the world. And so for that reason, we ought to be strengthening our ties with Taiwan. We ought to be supporting them and be prepared to defend them if necessary in any escalation of tensions. But also I would say that we've seen in the COVID-19 pandemic how Taiwan has been exemplary in its handling of the coronavirus, both again within its own territory and in terms of its very generous response to needs around the world, where it has given, not sold, but given equipment and expertise, in real contrast to the handling of the virus by the communist regime in China. So that's another reason why we should be strengthening our relationship with Taiwan, learning from Taiwan. Taiwan did that in terms of handling COVID-19 despite being shunned and sidelined by the World Health Organization. And I think we should be supporting Taiwan's warm welcome into multilateral organizations like the World Health Organization, so that we can learn from their experience and strengthen ties with them. They are the embodiment of the values that we ought to be championing. And I would say that given what we've seen Xi Jinping's regime prepared to do to Hong Kong, I think the warnings for what they may do next, Taiwan, are at least there on the table, and we ought to be alert to that. And we certainly, as I say, should be preparing to stand by Taiwan and defend it in any escalation of tensions there. And of course, hoping to de-escalate tensions and avoid things getting worse in that situation.